end times. At the end of the day, for real, if you a man of the Most High specifically, guard your light, guard your family, protect your peace. I feel like it's that season, yeah. Till your ground and put your seeds in. They say rock, what's the word? I told them repent. Gotta walk in them shoes you put your feet in. The bed that you make, you gotta sleep in. Sowing and reaping, judgment, it's that season. I don't get mad, and I don't get even. Abba got 'em, say shalom when you see me. I'm protecting my peace. It ain't my business what they said about me. They forgot to mention the part when I fell to my knees. Please, Abba, keep your angels wherever I be. Pray you keep a couple of them by the bed when I sleep. Bonded, casting out every devil I see. Last days, I ain't playing no kind of games. I got children. Look, no matter what they say, we gon' still win. Let them gossip, we gon' still win. Turn everybody against us, we gon' still win. Keep building like real men. Imagine all the souls we gon' reel in. And we put scriptures over feelings. Yeah. Had to do a pause for that. I feel like it's that season. Yeah. Till your ground and put your seeds in. If we can't correct each other, we can't be friends. I can't sit back and watch you go off the deep end. Sky is the limit, you got no ceiling. We gon' take it through the firmament. You got baptized, them demons was on your head when they got word of it. When you get wings, it's gonna be turbulence. Temptation intensified, it's expected. We at the end of time, they don't wanna see you score. They want you penalized, want you out the game, see you ride the bench. When it's crunch time, it ain't hard to see who the father with. This season, we not man pleasing. Practice what you preaching, don't pretend. For real, we gotta give them the facts. Look, that sound good, but what scripture was that? Paganism in our worship, hidden in the details. Saturnalia, Abba gave me eyes, I can see well. We stiff-necked, we don't want correction, we shun correction. On the narrow path is only one direction. Yeah, we stiff-necked, we don't want correction, we shun correction. Yeah, it's only one direction. It's that season.
All right, peace and blessings, families. Brother Ibar from the True Vanguard of Israel, and we are here on the Shabbat with a very powerful lesson. With me, I have my two brothers in Christ. Unmute your mic, brothers, and heal up the people.
Yeah, shalom to the family. Blessings.
Shabbat shalom. People of here, Jews and Gentiles alike, stay tuned. Shall be informed.
All right, cool. So we have a lesson. The curses of Deuteronomy 28. Who does it fit today? Jewish or transatlantic slave trade? Speaking about the Jewish people today in Israel and the people of the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, that's our title today. Let me share my screen right here. Okay, so just a quick Google search, right? Let's do this. T.O.O.R. Poor, P-L-A-C-K-S-R. Poor black, P-E-O-P-L-E. Let's see what we got. Poor black people. So we talk about poor black people. You take a look at it, it's very it look very bad. Right? We see marching, we see drugs, we see being abused by police, we see old people with no family, right? Wipe out poverty. We see all kind of negative stuff. We see smoking, we see gang violence, we see shacks, we see all kind of problem, right? When we type poor black people, it's just not good, right? We see situations like this. We also see situation like what? This. Okay, we see situations like this. Okay. So this is how it look for the black community. Okay, the poor black community. We see images like this. Okay. This is the image that we saw online. Okay. So for the poor black people, this is the kind of image that we saw online. Okay. Poor, Jewish. Poor Jewish people, P-E-O-P-L-E. So when we talk about poor Jewish people, is it that bad? So we put in poor Jewish people and we see images like this. This don't seems like poverty to me. This doesn't seem like there's an issue there. Okay? It's not that bad. We see images like this. It's not that bad. Right? We see images like this. It's not that bad. Seems to me like, you know, the culture is pretty much intact, but let's go to this one. We see images like this. Still not as bad as what we see with the blacks. It seems like, you know, the culture is intact right here. Okay. Okay, let's go to this one right here. Here's the image. See, we have someone lying on the street here. And it says, there will always be poor International Fellowship of Christian and Jews. Okay. So obviously, what we are seeing right here, we're not sure if it is a Jewish person. Okay. So we're not going to harp on this one. But we can come to this one. Okay. Poor Jewish, it's a Jewish poverty often hidden, common in Brooklyn. We don't see poverty here. But if we go back, right? Let's go back to the black people now and see what we have. Let's go back. So this is what we have for the black people. It can't be more stressing, more decrepit, right? Look at this image right here. We didn't see this for the poor Jewish people, right? It just don't exist. Okay. We don't see situations like this for the, you know, poor Jewish community. We don't see that. Okay. Let's go down a little bit further. We saw no image of this for the poor Jewish community. Okay. So let's just cut it out about, you know what I mean? We've been oppressed, right? Everyone is against us and all of that. No, cut it out. Let me go here and share my screen. Okay. Right, so let's go right back here also. You see my screen clearly?
Yes.
Let me zoom it up a bit. What is going on there? It's getting smaller.
No man, it's A good size. I can see it clear.
All right, let me go here and see what it is like. Okay, so it's very big right there, right?
Yeah, yeah, man.
I think we can make it a little bit bigger.
If you want to.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, man, that's good.
All right, cool. All right, so as you can see the title, the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Who does it fit today? Jewish or transatlantic slave trade? Right, so what we are asking, the people in Israel today, right, and the people of the transatlantic slave trade, which are black people, so-called black people, who fit the curses of Deuteronomy 28, okay? Okay, so get Deuteronomy 28 and pick it up at verse 1. Verse 1, just to bring out the blessings.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
So what the Most High God is saying right here, okay? It shall come to pass, mean it shall happen. You, Israel, when Moses was given the commandment or the direction or the judgment, right, from the Most High to give to the nation of Israel, the Most High put blessings in the contract and the Most High put curses in the contract. So he's saying, Israel, there's a benefit that comes with keeping the commandment. If you keep the commandment, you will be blessed. Okay? But there's also a flip side to it, which is the curse. Read on.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Exactly. So the Most High is saying, Israel, if you do the commandment, I'm going to set you on high above all nations with an S, plural. So it's obvious that the Most High only give one nation his laws, statutes, and commandment, right? Not that other nation cannot follow it, but that nation, right, will be subservient to the nation of Israel, because Israel is the head boy of the earth, right? Israel is the politicians of the earth. Israel is the leadership of the earth. So therefore, in order for Israel to lead, Israel must have what you call guideline and direction to make all other nations come to the most high power, right? Through the blessing that is upon Israel, right? If you move away from the commandment, then we're going to have another problem. Okay, read.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee.
Right,
If
so the
thou
blessing will come on you and it will overtake you, meaning the blessing will be so good, you won't have room enough for this blessing. It will be so good, you can't even contain it. It will overtake you. Your blessing will always before you. It's like Torah mentioned it like this, right? You plant food, you reap the food. The food that you reap, right, will come and catch, right, your goods that you reap before the month before. So blessings will be on top of blessings. There will be no room for you to actually store food because there's so much food, right? No nation will actually come against you because, right, the Most High will be your defense. No one can stand up against you when you keep God's commandment. Right? Read.
if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
And the Bible says, if. So the only way Israel will get this kind of benefit, these blessings, if you keep the commandment. Read.
Verse 3. Blessed shall thou be in the city.
Right. So when you go out to the city, you will be blessed to conduct your business. Right? Read.
And blessed shall thou be in the field.
Right. So when you come to your field, right, you will be blessed. Go on.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body.
That's your kids. Right? Read.
And the fruit of thy ground. And
When
the
you
fruit
plant
of thy
when you
cattle.
plant your ground, your cattle.
The increase of thy kin and the flocks of thy sheep.
Right. So your different animal, the increase of their kind. You understand me? Increase of the ox, the increase of the sheep, the increase of your goat, right? Just keep multiplying. Read.
Verse 5. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Exactly. Or your basket and your storehouse. Today where we store our money is in the bank. So our bank account will never be empty. Right? Read.
Blessed shall thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shall thou be when thou goest out.
From the day you born until the day you die. Right? When you leave your house in the morning, your way will be prosperous. All the way back till you come home. Read.
Verse 7. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face.
Exactly. So the Most High will cause your enemy to be beaten before your face if they rise up against you. Right? Read.
They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways.
Exactly. Read.
The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Exactly. So the Most High is saying to in the contract, because at this time we're about to go into the land of Israel. Okay? So Moses is basically telling the nation of Israel what the Most High expect of them, because Moses wasn't going to go into the land. Okay? Moses will not cross over to go into the land. So Moses is repeating all of the laws that the Most High gave him to give to the children of Israel. Okay? Read.
Verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God,
Here
and
the
walk
Bible
in his
mention, here the
ways.
Bible mention again, if thou keep the commandments of God. So there's stipulation. Read on.
And walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee.
Exactly. Like I mentioned before, the Most High is only speaking to one nation. And read that part one more time again up.
And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee.
Right. So all these nations outside the nation of Israel will look upon the nation of Israel and say, you know what? The Most High is with these people. Don't touch these people. Don't trouble these people. Because why? The Most High will stand up and fight for them. Okay? They will be afraid of you. Read on.
Verse 11. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of
Exactly.
thy cattle,
Mm-hmm.
and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee.
So all our basic necessities or day-to-day activity will be blessed if we keep the Most High commandment. Right? Read.
Verse 12. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the
Mm-hmm.
heaven to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow.
And thou shalt lend unto many nations, just like we have the IMF today, who lend unto many nations. Right? And we can clearly see the people today, right, who is borrowing. And we're going to go into it. Read on.
Verse 13. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail.
Right. The Most High shall make thee the head. The head is where the brain is. That's where majority of the decision is. All decision is made in the brain. But we can clearly see who actually dictate the pace of society today. Right? So the Most High is saying, listen, if you keep the commandment, you will dictate the pace of this earth. Read.
And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath.
And thou shalt be above, right? Only. And thou shalt not be beneath. Right? That's a blessing that comes with keeping the commandment. Right? Read.
If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I
Right.
command
So
thee this day.
the Most High state emphatically. Read that one more time.
If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God,
right,
which I command
hearken
thee
means
this
to
day.
listen. Hearken means to listen. So if you listen, right, to these commandments that I'm giving you to keep, right, you will be above. And all these blessings will come upon you and overtake you. Okay? And this blessing is for a particular nation. It's not for all nations, it's for one nation. And all the other nations now will be subservient to that one nation who the Most High made the covenant with, right? And they can partake of the blessings also. Okay? Read. You're going to the flip side now, right?
Verse 13. I'm
What
still at
verse
verse 13. 13.
Okay, go ahead.
To observe and to do them, and thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day.
Exactly. So the Most High said, you shall not go aside from it. Meaning, don't come some 3,000 plus years and said, you know what? The Most High says, don't keep the Sabbath anymore. The Most High come and said, you can now eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Okay? The Most High said what? Read that again.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand.
Go aside. Don't go aside. Do not walk away from them. Right? Not one jot, not one titter. Right? Read.
To the right hand or to the left.
So you cannot be swerving all over the place. You must walk this narrow path to get the blessing. Okay? You cannot say this minute, right? I'm a Pentecostal. Next minute, I'm an Adventist. This minute, I'm a Catholic. I'm this, I'm that. You must walk the commandment of the Most High. Read.
To go after other gods, to serve them.
Because the moment you step outside of these commandments, the blessing no longer apply. You are now in the realm, right, of philosophy. And we all know who brings philosophy. Philosophy is not a bad thing. But once you move from the Most High philosophy, guess what happened? You are now dealing with Satan. Read.
Verse 15. It shall come to pass if thou will not.
Here is it now. We are going to go to the flip side of the blessing. The flip side of blessing is curse. So the Most High is saying, it shall come to pass, mean it shall happen if what up?
If thou will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If you're not going to listen, this is what will happen. What will happen? Read.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes.
So if you will not pay attention to do all his commandments, which is his laws, read,
which I command thee this day,
which Moses gave to the nation of Israel, right, before they cross over into the land. Read.
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So there is a cursing that will come upon the people of the covenant when they decide not to keep God's commandment. Okay, read.
And overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be, verse 16.
Right, so it says, the curse shall overtake thee. Just like the blessing will overtake you when you keep the commandment. If you move away from the commandment and decide you're not going to keep it, the curse will overtake you just the same. The curses will ever be before you. Just like the blessing is before you, and people will see and said, okay, this people is a wise and understanding people. This people is a blessed people. People look at you and say, oh, the curses is before you just the same. Like, what the heck could be happening to this man? Why everybody take him, use him, and abuse him? Why he doesn't always have food? Why is his kids in this decrepit state? Why he always borrowing and not lending? Why he's always the tail and not the head? Why he's grown, right? His grown provision never produce. People will always see that, right? So we're looking at the curse of Deuteronomy 28, right? How does it apply to the Jewish people living in Israel today? How does it apply? Okay, read on up.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Go back to 15 and read it again.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Exactly. So what we have to understand is this, right? When Moses was given the commandment to the nation of Israel, they're about to go into the land. These commandment was given for them to stay in the land, right? It was given for them to actually stay in the land. Let me grab this scripture right here for clarity. Let me grab this scripture for clarity. 28 and verse. Okay, read verse 21 for me.
Verse 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land.
Exactly. So we see clearly the point that I'm trying to grab from this right here is until he have consumed thee from off the land. So once you go into the land and you decide not to follow the commandment, the Most High said you will be cleaved from off the land. Okay? You will be cleaved from off the land. So obviously, right, once Israel leave the land, there's only one way to get back into the land. Right? And once Israel get back into the land, read Revelation 22 verses 22 verses 14 and 15 up.
Revelation 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments.
So Christ is saying, blessed are they that do his commandments, that what?
That they may have a right to the tree of life.
Exactly. Going back into the land, read.
And may enter in through the gates into the city.
Exactly. Enter through Christ, read.
For without our dogs and sorcerers.
For outside the gates are dogs and sorcerers. Outside Christ are dogs and sorcerer. And outside of the commandments are dog and sorcerer. Read.
Whoremongers and murderers,
Exactly. Read.
and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Exactly. So outside of the commandment, you are these. In order for you to go into the land, you must keep the commandment to go back into the land. Right? Get Hebrew 9 and 27. Hebrew 9 and 28. You can read Hebrew 9 and 28 for me.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 9 and verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation.
Exactly. So to go back into the land, you must be without sin. What is sin? Grab what is sin. 1 John 3 and 4. You can read it from 3 just for clarity.
The book of 1 John 3 and verse 3. And every man that has his hope in him purifieth himself, even
So
as he is pure.
every man that believeth in Christ purified himself, means to make himself clean or herself clean. Read.
Even as he is pure.
Even as Christ is pure, because Christ is without sin. We just read that sin is the transgression of the law, right? Read.
Verse 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law.
So the Bible said, whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law. So when you commit sin, you break God's commandment. Go to 1 Corinthians 6, verses 9. First Corinthians 6, 9.
1 Corinthians 6 and verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
Right, and that's why Christ said in Revelation 22, verse 14, without our dogs, you're not in the kingdom. Right? Without our dogs, sorcerer, whoremonger, and 1 Corinthians 6, verse 9 said what?
Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God?
Because if you're a dog, you are unrighteous. Read.
Be not deceived, neither
Don't let nobody fool
fornicators,
you. Neither fornicate, and Christ mentioned fornication also. Read.
nor idolaters,
Idolater, Christ mentioned that also. Read.
nor adulterers,
He mentioned that also. Read.
nor effeminate,
Faggots.
nor
Faggots.
abuse.
No, watch this. Let me put this on the screen for you. Give me a minute. I'll put this on the screen for you. Let's get this. All right, watch this. Let me drop this on the screen for you. Okay. Read that part about effeminate against act.
Nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind.
Right, so when we talk about effeminate, we're dealing with homosexuality. Now, this is in Israel, what we're looking at right here. This is in Israel today. So if the Jewish people is saying, okay, we are back in the land, right? And we know that sin is what gets us out of the land. and Christ is the only one who will take us back into the land, how did you get back into the land with homosexuality? Right? It was through doing these things, the curse, right, of Deuteronomy 28 got us kicked out of the land, right? Now, Deuteronomy is basically showing us or identifying the people, who these people are today and how we can find them. But you are saying you are in the land with these kind of things. It doesn't make sense. Okay? It doesn't make any sense. You cannot go back into the land with these kind of things. Right? Let me put this back on the screen. Okay, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
City. Right. So pay attention now, right? Because this lesson is highly visual. Okay? We have, let me put this up. It's highly visual, right? So we have two nations right here. We have the children of the diaspora, the children of the transatlantic slave trade, and we have the Jewish people today, right? When we say, curse shall thou be in the city, we have two nations right here and their mannerism in the city. Who fit this prophecy? Who fit? Does it look like it's these so-called Jewish people? Or curse shall thou be in the city fit the so-called blacks? To my right. Who? Look at these people. Seems like they're going to school. They're conducting their business. While on the other hand, our people is marching. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. I can't breathe. Black power, black power. Right? It's not the same. It's not the same thing. Something is seriously wrong. Let's go. Right? Curse, and curse shall thou be in the field. Right? Staying in verse 16. And curse shall thou be in the field. Right? Check this out. It says, challenges facing black farmers in the US. Right? We have three main factors that black farmer in the US is actually facing now. Here's property, the legal issue that has cost black farmers $326 billion. Number two, as Congress prepares for a farm bill, will there be justice for black farmers? Okay. Three, Juneteenth is now a federal holiday, but justice is delayed again for black farmers. So what we're going to do, we're going to go right here. I'm going to show you something, right? Let me go right there. Let me do this. Let's see. Copy this. Copy this right here. Paste that right there. All right, so check this out now. Let me open this. It says right here, this website right here, it says land loss. This is what the black farmers today, right, in America is facing. Land loss, discrimination, and difficulty securing capital and credit have been significant factors in black land loss over the last century. In addition, black landowners have been disproportionately affected by heirs' property, right? So there are certain laws put in place, when, black people is farming and the land's supposed to pass down to generation. Many a time, it's very complex. As it read, a complex legal statute or status that affects how land is passed down through generation. It's not like this for the white counterparts. They don't have these problems. They don't have these challenges like what the black people, right, face from a day-to-day perspective. This series looked at the consequences for black farmers because of this history, right? How black land loss intersects with other obstacles to creating a sustainable food system and solution. So black people have a lot of problem where farming is concerned in America. Let me go right here. Another one, Juneteenth. Pay attention to this. Let me open this right here. It says Juneteenth is now a federal holiday, but justice is delayed against black farmers. How do you make Juneteenth, right? You can pass it as a public holiday, but black farmers has been suffering for so many years, and there's no laws being put in place, right, for them to secure their land, right, and to get certain kind of benefits and inheritance. Let me read it. Okay, so there was a thing called 40 acre and a promise unfulfilled. It says injustice has been intertwined with agriculture since the beginning of this country. In the antebellum South, millions of enslaved men and women toiled on plantations, planting and harvesting cotton, tobacco, rice, and other agricultural commodities for wealthy white landowners. By 1860, there were 4 million enslaved people in the United States, some 60% of whom work in cotton, right? Emancipation after 247 years of chattel slavery marked the beginning of a new period of hardship and struggle for formerly enslaved black men, right? Check that out. After so many years, they are still catching hell. And we today sit and say, you know what? Slavery is over, right? But there are certain things put in place, right, that stop us from functioning. It says in January 1865, a group of black leaders met with General William T. Sherman in Savannah, Georgia, to make the case that real freedom requires access to land, the primary means of survival in a largely agrarian society. They persuaded him to issue a special field order number 50, known widely as the promise of 40 acre and a mule. That promise don't fulfill as yet. That promise doesn't fulfill as yet. So there are so many things that we are, black farmer is actually facing right now. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. 1 minute.
You hear me, Ibar?
Can't hear.
Okay. It's like the screen change a while ago. Ibar, you're
Yeah,
on mute.
yeah, I'm on mute. Like, yeah, it now maximizing our presentation view. Yeah,
You hearing me now?
can.
Yeah, man, yeah.
For how long was I mute?
Basically, the whole time from I see the cursor moving, you was on mute.
Really?
Yeah, man. That's why I asked if you're hearing me now because I see the cursor moving, so I suspect you're speaking.
Wow. So all this time I was on mute, or I was actually reading. Okay. Let me go right here. A century of land loss and discrimination, right? It says right here. Still, in 1920, black farmers accounted for 14% of all U.S. farmers, collectively owning approximately 15 million acres of farmland. But in a 2019 post on this blog, my colleague chronicled what happened next, right? How U.S. agricultural gradually became consolidated, industrialized, and unrelentingly white over the course of a 20th century as institutional racism and antiquated property laws drove massive black land loss, right? By 1982, black farmers represented less than 2% of the nation's 2.2 million farmers, and by 2017, that number was down to 1.6%, right? So we see clearly where the Bible said, right, curse shall thou be in the field. This doesn't affect the Jewish people in Israel today. This don't apply to them. Okay? Check this out. In our recent study, Losing Ground, we found that consolidation of U.S. farmland into ever fewer hands, a trend that is ongoing, has hurt small and beginning farmers across the board, but has been especially bad for black farmers, right? With greater consolidation associated with a greater loss of black farmers compared to other states. Moreover, an entrenched culture of discrimination at the U.S. Department of Agriculture has held black farmers back, denying them loans and other assistance for a decade. This is not happening to the Jewish people today, right? This curse doesn't apply to them. And we're going to prove it. Okay? So where this curse is concerned, it doesn't fit. It doesn't match. Okay? Let me go down a little bit further. No, that's not what I want here. I'm going to show you something. Let me go back to this slide. All right. It says new gleaning from a Jewish farm. So we are comparing, right? We are comparing. This is what is happening. It says challenges facing black farmers in the US, right? One of the problems that is now facing black farmers within the US, here's property, the legal issue that has cost black farmers $326 billion. So this is a main problem for them. When land's supposed to pass on from generation to generation, right? Most of the time they lost the land. Okay? I think there's a movie called there's a series one time called Green Leaf. I'm not sure. You ever heard of that, Yawala?
No, I never
I
watched
think
that
that
one.
right. I think that movie show some of that problem facing black farmers. Right.
Okay.
2. As Congress prepare for a farm bill, will there be justice for black farmers? These are articles that has been, composed by white journalists, not by black people, right? See, we have a poster there that says, "Don't take our land. Equal justice is law," right? Juneteenth is now a federal holiday, but justice is delayed again for black farmers. And we can go and read all of these things. It's not the same for the Jewish people today. They cannot state claim to these kind of curse. And if you don't match, then you just have to quit. Let's go. Let's compare. Okay. So it says new gleaning for a Jewish farmer, right? Now, these are Jewish people right here farming. You see how they look happy? Things is going well. Okay. It says right here, Falls Village, Khan. Come seek enlightenment. So this is what the Jewish people are saying. Come seek enlightenment in the chicken yard. Young Jewish farmer come at daybreak, 6 o'clock sharp, to tramp through the dew and pray and sing in the misty field. What does the article say? To tramp through the dew and pray and sing in the misty field. It's not the same right here. Right? These people is holding a poster saying don't take our land. While these Jewish people is inviting you to come and learn, right? Let the fellowship program call Adama feed your soul while you feed the soil. Check that out. In Hebrew, Adama means soil or earth. Come be a vanguard of Jewish regeneration and ecological righteousness. It's not the same. The contrast between the black farmer, right, and the white Jewish people, right, it cannot be compared. Also, wear muck boots. Check that out. They are telling you, listen, get your gears up. There's a lot of dew and chicken gone beneath the firmament. What is that you say? You're praying for a few more hours of sleep in your cramped group house, right? They're being sarcastic now, filled with sarcasm. Down the road from the Isabella Freeman Jewish Retreat Center, after a month of Adama, you're exhausted from chasing stray goats and pounding 350 pounds of lacto-fermented curry crat. Let's try this again. Then come seek enlightenment in the chicken yard, young Jewish farmer, because attendance is mandatory. Right? They are flaunting the luxury of what they have. But on the contrary, right, the black farmer is marching. And that's not what script said. This is just not what's happening, right, for the people of Israel within the Bible. Right? The only time Israel will benefit this is when Christ come and set up the kingdom. Moving on. It says right here, Deuteronomy 28, verse 17. Read that up.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Exactly. So check this out now, right? When we look at all, I have some symbols here, right? We have Starbucks. You know who owns Starbucks? A Jewish man. right? We have Dream Works, that's Jewish owned. We have Facebook, that's Jewish owned. We have Dunkin' Donuts, that's Jewish owned, right? We have Warner Bros. Picture, right? Jewish owned. We have Dell. We have Google. We have Toys R Us. These are all big companies that is being owned by Jewish people. It's not so with us. It's not so with the black, right? There's a big problem with us. Read on up. Read that what you got.
Verse 18.
Yeah, what Allah? No, man, read
So read
17.
verse
Continue in 17.
Cursed shall be thy
Yeah,
basket and
continue
thy
it.
store.
Exactly. Cursed shall be the basket and thy store, right? That's what script said. Cursed shall be the basket and thy store, right? Get John 1 and 45.
John chapter 1 and verse 45. Philip findeth Nathanael and said unto him, We have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Christ of Nazareth, the son of Joseph.
Right. Christ
And,
of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Read.
and Nathanael said unto him, Can any good thing come out of Nazareth?
Right. Nathanael is saying, can there be any good thing come out of Nazareth? Knowing that our people, right, in Nazareth was in a a difficult situation, right? It is what we call a ghetto, right? Now, when we look, right, at these pictures right here, who more so could be in a ghetto-like state? This is what we call the favela in Brazil, right? And a lot of these people right here are Israelites, right? They are Israelites. A large percent of Judite went into those areas. The reason why you see the brown skin down there is because they are mixed with the Portuguese. That area was actually colonized by Portugal. Okay? And a lot of people don't know this. The favelas, look at this decrepit state. So even back then, right? Nathanael, no, can there be any good thing come out of Nazareth? Okay? Read on.
Philip said unto him, Come and see. Verse 47.
Hold it right there. Jump to Genesis 49.
Genesis 49 and verse 3. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power. Verse 4. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest
Right,
up
so
to
the
thy
part we're
father's
looking at
bed.
right here. Right, what we're looking at right here, thou shalt not excel. When you look at these picture right here, these are all Reuben Knights area. And look at the condition of it. Look at the condition of the place. Can we actually find somewhere like this in Israel today? I don't think we can. And even if we do, right, it would be where predominantly blacks are. Don't we have some people down there, down there in the land right now in Damona where it's catching hell?
Yeah, I mean, I think their village is close to some nuclear plant or something like that. It's not the best conditions to be in.
Exactly. So we still clear, right, that these people don't fit the curses. Okay, let's play this video right here. Let's take a look at this video.
I mean, do people ever say to you, look,
Let me pull it back right here for you. So this documentary right here is
I
called,
wonder if you'd believe this as a solution to the Aboriginal problem.
Now, what's the definition of utopia? Let's get the definition of utopia for the people. Utopia just simply mean, right? Let me get it. Don't put my definition. I'm gonna show you what utopia means. Oh, ironic. Oh, ironic. Oh, ironic. Okay. Oh, ironic. You see my screen up?
Can.
What does it say on the screen?
Utopia, an imagined place or state of things in which everything is perfect.
Say that again.
An imagined place or state of things in which everything is perfect.
Right. Where everything is perfect. Right? Where everything is perfect. Check that out. Let's go back here. All right. Let's check out this documentary.
Herd the worst of the Aborigines into one area and put a chemical...
The who? The Aborigines, which we know today are Israelites.
...in their water that sent them sterile. In time, there'd be none of them left. Well, that solution has been put forward by none other than one of the Premier's closest friends, Western Australian mining magnate, Lang Hancock.
Those that have been assimilated into earning good living or earning wages amongst the civilised areas, that have been accepted into society, and they have accepted society and can handle society, I'd leave them well alone. The ones that are no good to themselves and can't accept things, the half-caste, and this is where most of the trouble comes, I would dope the water up so that they were sterile and would breed themselves out in future, and that would solve the problem.
So this is a white Australian police tasering an Aboriginal man. Okay?
I'm gonna die. You fucking screw up, I'm gonna fucking lock you up again.
So they are tasering him while putting water on him. Can you imagine?
You understand? You're not getting the message, are you?
Right? Here's some more white police officer, right? Mishandling, ill-treating, right, an Aboriginal man.
You're being very silly, man.
You see what he said on the screen? This Aboriginal man died 3 hours later. Then he just come and wipe up the blood like he did nothing. Check that out. No police officers was persecuted or prosecuted.
Look, this look like something that would happen in America, isn't it?
Right. So the same thing, right, is happening to the Aboriginal in Australia, right? Where it's also been colonized by the British. Check this out.
T.V.O.I, asshole! We rounded people up into our own concentration camps. In fact, what we have done from the...
Pay attention. Look at these black Aboriginal right here. Look at their condition. Right? Just take a look at their condition.
The original invasion to now is constantly reduce Aboriginal people to a subhuman status.
The policy says you're a black Aboriginal Australian. You're not wanted on this earth.
Did you hear that? You're not wanted on this earth. That's the policy of the Australian government. How ironic. How ironic. And the documentary is called Utopia. You will find out why they call it Utopia. Check this out.
This is Sydney, jewel of Australia and the
This is Sydney, the jewel of Australia, and the
good life.
And the good life.
I'm on my way to Palm Beach to meet Diana Edwards, who manages holiday homes overlooking the Pacific.
Oh, that's impressive.
Isn't it beautiful? It's like being on a ship.
All of that is Palm Beach.
Yep, that is the Pacific Ocean at its best. People sort of are always popping in for drinks. So 2 levels of entertaining, which is fabulous, with a huge big decks.
Yeah. What is this rent for now?
Christmas time, about $30,000 Australian.
You hear that? How much this goes for? You know, Christmas time about 30,000 Australian. Okay.
Per week.
A week.
Yeah, per week.
That's per week.
A lot of money.
It is, but it's the peak time when everybody is here. Absolute paradise found.
I finally found it.
Yeah.
Absolutely paradise found. You know, he replied, I finally found it.
I mean, do people ever say to you, look, $30,000 or $40,000 a week is just too much, or do they say that's fine?
No, because obviously you pay for what you get in life.
Yeah.
Behind this $1 million view is the other Australia, a secret.
Behind this $1 million view, so on the other side of town, is another Australia.
Battleground, where the first people of Australia...
Where the who? The first people of Australia, the Aboriginal, the Reubenites, according to the Bible. That's why the Bible says, Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might and my strength. Thou shalt not excel. Right? And they can't excel because the Bible, right, prophesied that.
Fought the invading British. This was their land, which they defended bravely and with ingenuity, but they had no guns and were defeated.
This is their land that they defend bravely, right, and with great ingenuity, but they have no gun, so therefore they fail.
In 1838, the Sydney Monitor reported, it was resolved to exterminate the whole race of...
It was resolved to exterminate the whole race of who?
Blacks
of
in
blacks.
that quarter.
Headquarter.
And this is how many of the survivors live today.
So because they came up with a plan like that, right, to exterminate them, this is how they actually look today. If you notice this man right here, he's partially blind. One of his eyes blind. It is because of a particular sickness, right? A pandemic, an epidemic that is on the rise in this area.
This is Eric El-Kedra, who works at the health centre in the Aboriginal community of Umbloodawatch, some 200 miles from Alice Springs in the Northern Territory.
Yeah, I moved in here last year. Other families living.
So this is called what? A health center? Look at his shirt, right? This is what his shirt says, right? Plat what jaw health center. Let's go.
In one house, maybe 20 in one house, or 15 in another. Some living outside.
Do you have a kitchen in your house?
Nah.
No kitchen.
Yeah, I have to make a fire outside.
Yeah.
You got a fire there, wood outside.
No electricity.
No electricity, yeah, no.
You got water?
Yeah, I used to tap out here.
And you don't have a shower or anything like that?
No shower.
So it's just that one outside tap?
Yeah.
So to wash the kids, they got to stand under the tap?
Yeah, get a hose.
You hose the kids?
Yeah, hose. Put a hose up.
Oh. Shouldn't be like this, should it?
No.
It's a rich country.
Yeah, it's rich.
For some. You have a right to certain things. You're paying your tax.
Yeah, I'm paying my tax. But I'm living in the country.
Here you are living with your family here, without a kitchen, tap outside, no electricity. Just over there, there's what they call a government business manager.
Yeah.
And he's got 18 air conditioners.
Pay attention. So this is the house that they actually just show you. Let me go back there.
Hose up.
Oh. Shouldn't be like this, should it?
No.
It's a rich country.
Yeah, it's rich.
For some. You have a right to certain things. You're paying your tax.
Yeah, I'm paying my tax. But I'm living in the country.
Here you are living with your family here, without a kitchen, tap outside, no electricity.
Hey,
Just
boy.
over there.
Hi, boy.
Yes.
We see
Come on, I'm
health
hearing
center. Yeah, we see health center mark on this man's shirt, right? Is it that where he reside is the health center?
Right next door to, no, that's not the health center.
Okay.
That's
this
not the health
building we
center.
look at is the health center.
Not really.
Not?
No, this is not the health center. This is the man who's been placed in the area to actually manage them.
Oh.
So because this man, all right, you know, this man is basically living in utopia, right? Because the place is called Utopia. But he's a government worker. But the government is making sure that, okay, I'm sending you in this area just to make it look like, okay, we are doing good for these people. So you must actually live nice, even though you are in this decrepit state. If you notice, his home is basically fenced, and he have about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 AC. One here makes 6. We don't know if more on the back, right? So he's basically placed there to keep these people down, make sure them get them vaccine, make sure them, them have certain things that will kill them. Okay. Right? Check it out.
There's what they call a government business manager.
So he's a government business manager, the person who live right here. A government business manager. Let's go.
Yeah.
And he's got 18 air conditioners.
How many? 18 air conditioner. So the government give him that much, even though he's in the area called Utopia, because that's what the area is called, Utopia. The condition of the place, I will just give you the definition of Utopia. Somewhere where life's supposed to be good. Okay? That's what they named the place, Utopia. That's a slap in the face.
Exactly. It's an insult to the intelligence.
Let's go.
Yeah, you should have given me one then.
Like
a jewel so rare in a setting that's fair, a city of white was born. With its gardens of blooms and its fair perfumes, that greet each sunny morning.
Now look, at this depiction, right? Look on the other side of town.
Australia's creation, the heart of a nation.
This is Canberra, the capital of Australia. It's very quiet, with wide, clean streets, manicured lawns, excellent schools. And this is the Australian Parliament. According to a government survey, it's one of the most advantaged places in one of the wealthiest countries. And this is the suburb of Barton, named after the first Prime Minister of Australia, Edmund Barton, whose Act of Parliament in 1901 became known as the White Australia policy. The doctrine of the equality of man, said Barton, was never intended to apply to those who weren't British.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Ak?
Can. Loud and clear.
Let me touch it back a bit.
And this is the Australian Parliament. According to a government survey, it's one of the most advantaged places in one of the wealthiest countries. And this is the suburb of Barton, named after the first Prime Minister of Australia.
So this is called Utopia. You must go and watch Utopia. Okay? Go and watch Utopia and you will see everything that is actually taking place right here. Let me get out of here.
Australia.
Okay. You seen my screen up, right?
Can.
I stopped it because copyright issues. I don't want to play it too long,
Yeah.
All right. 1 minute. All right, let's go. Deuteronomy 28, verse 18 up.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
Right. So here we have some pictures right here. We see clearly, right? We have a Jewish family right here. So, I pick kids. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. Right? Who in these pictures right here seems to fit this verse right here? Deuteronomy 28, verse 18. We see we have a Jewish family right here. They look like they're going to school, while here we have some kids right here. They don't look so well. Here we have some smoking right here. That's not the case. And even if let me go right here. Let's say I put in a picture of Jewish kids smoking. Let's see what we have. All right, watch this. I put in an image, right, of Jewish kids smoking, and look what we have right here. It's more like a joke.
Yeah, man, it's like
It's
a
more
mock
like a
beard.
joke. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like a joke, right? It's a big joke. Take a look at this. It's not that, what's the word you do? It's not that gruesome.
Yeah.
Take a look at this.
Hey, one underline says cigarette for kids, Purim habit.
Yeah, here is it. Purim festival and Orthodox Jewish boy smoke a, right? So it's like a cultural thing for them to do this. Let's look at this picture right here. Kids in Jerusalem celebrate Purim by smoking tons of cigarettes. Check that out. Okay, let me do this on the other hand. Let's do this on the other hand. Some black kids smoking now, right? Here we have some smoking. We see problem here. The article read, child smoking, right? Africa, high risk stock photo and image, right? This is not a good thing for us. Look at this. It's not a good thing for us. It's not the same thing. We get affected by it.
Yeah, man. Their kids are celebrating Purim while ours are smoking to forget their troubles.
Their curses.
Check this out. It's not the same. Okay. And look at this image right here. It's not the same thing. Something is wrong. It's not the same. Okay, let's go. Read verse 19 up.
Verse 19. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out.
Exactly. So from the day we born until the day we die, right? Now, what you can see here, this article, right? This excerpt was actually taken from the Jewish Agency for Israel. Okay? So we're not pulling some source that is not credible. We are pulling from source that is credible. Okay? Child allowance or kitzbat, yeladim, is a small sum of money paid monthly to eligible families according to the number of minor children in the family. Now, I want you to pay keen attention to what is going on right here. Right? It says, the National Insurance Institute, right? So the National Insurance Institute in Israel today, this is what it's called in Hebrew. Ha-Masad Libi Tuak Liumi. Pay a child allowance to the families living in Israel with children age under 19. So there's a certain amount of money that is being given to family with children under 18, right? In most cases, the payment is automatic. Check that out. The payment is automatic. With Olim, what is the meaning of Olim? I actually insert this there to give the definition because they're using certain Hebrew words. Olim means immigrant of Aliyah to Israel. Now the word Aliyah, right, just simply means what? Immigration to Israel. It was actually coined a couple of years ago, but Aliyah means rise or ascent in the Hebrew language. Okay? Having their details passed to the NII, which is what? The National Insurance Institute. Institute by the Ministry of Aliyah. So the Ministry of Aliyah is the one who actually the institution actually. Let me go here. I'm gonna go here and show you what is Aliyah. Aliyah, N-H-E-B-R-E-W in Hebrew. Show you some. Can you see that up?
Can.
Read that.
The Hebrew word aliyah literally means ascent or rise, but for generations it has been used to mean immigration to Israel. Israel has always been the center of the Jewish universe, but for centuries the dream of moving to Israel was just that, a dream.
Okay, good. So we see right here, Aliyah, right, in the Hebrew language, ascent or rise, right? But for a generation, it had been used to mean immigration to Israel. Okay, let's go back right here. Right? An immigrant absorption following their Aliyah, it is recommended to make sure that the money is in fact going into your bank account. However, and to be proactive in the event that payments are made. So right, so immigration to Israel, Aliyah, or this company called Aliyah, right? They are there to make sure that these kids get their money, and they are proactive, right? They are not just reactive, but they are proactive. They make sure that this happens. Okay, the allowance is paid on the 20th of each month. So on the 20th of each month, right, these kids would actually get their money in their bank account. Is that happening for us? No. The allowance was updated retroactively in 2015. Families should receive an additional payment in December 2015 containing the retroactive portion of the assistance. Let's move on and get more of this, right? So right here, we have a diagram. It says the allowance rate for children born after May 31, 2003, right? It says allowance, right? Child allowance. If you have one child, right, you get what? $150 every month. You have two child, you get $188. But the update, right, because this was 2023, so it would have been updated as time progress, right? $338. If you have three child, 188 was the allowance. It's now upgrade to $526. 4, you'd actually get what? The allowance was 336. It upgrade now to what? 862. 5 or more, right? They didn't give any list, but you'd actually get what, like 354 back then. But I don't know how much it would actually give you today because they didn't list it, so I can't say. All right, check this out. When you look at repatriation and support, right? Read that verse that you actually read, Yawala.
Verse 19.
Yes.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 19. Cursed shall thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out.
Exactly. So we see clearly that it's not the same with the Jewish kids, right? From the day they're born until up till 18, right? They have allowance that, you know, benefits them and so forth. It's not the same with the black kids. Okay. So we see right here, child survivor. Now this excerpts came from Claims Conference, right? Conference on Jewish Material Claims Agency, Germany. So this is not even in the land of Israel like that, right? This would be where? In Germany. So they have persons in Germany who dialogue, right, for the Jewish kids of what happened to them in the Holocaust. Okay? It reads, Holocaust survivors who were children at the time have begun to receive payments. Now, from that time up till now, these people would have been old people. They would have been old people now. Right? And they have you have persons right now dialoguing for those persons, those who survive it and still alive today. Okay? Because they are saying, listen, we're not gonna let this slide. Okay? So it reads, Holocaust survivors who were children at that time have begun to receive payments under a landmark agreement reached with the government, with the German government. Check that out. The symbolic financial compensation for children survivors from this 190 million fund represents a acknowledgement of the unique trauma and hardship endured by children during the Holocaust. You see this? There's a compensation of 190 million. Right? How much is being paid back for slavery today? None. Payments of £2,500 are being made to the first 21,600 Holocaust survivor in 52 countries from the Children Survivor Fund following claims conference negotiations with the German government. The claims conference has been pressing for a number of years for recognition of the suffering of Jewish children during the Holocaust, and it will continue to press claims and pay additional survivor now that the process has begun. Check that out. But repatriation will not be paid. Let's go. Check this out. This says right here. A new report shows that white people believe that it would be difficult to determine financial payments among other reasons. So what we're seeing right here, repatriation for black people will not be paid. Check out this article right here. The US has used reparations as a means of acknowledging and amending its role in egregious injustice, such as for Native Americans. Now, why would they list Native? Why would Native Americans be in this? To show you that they are also Israelites whose lands were taken, are Japanese Americans put into internment camps during World War II. However, the descendants of Africans enslaved have been notably absent. Pay attention. So they are saying they are giving the North Americans, they are giving the Japanese. However, the descendants of Africans enslaved have been notably absent, right, from reparative actions, according to a report by Brookings. While the task of providing reparations seems difficult to many U.S. residents, considering the scale of injustice presented by slavery and its aftermath. So slavery has done us a great disservice and continue to do. That's why they mention aftermath. The report author, Ashley V., right, Reen Chelman, an assistant professor of sociology at Virginia Tech, and Matthew O. Hunt, a professor of sociology at Northern Eastern University, believe this is a conversation the country needs to have. Recent polling, so they actually do a polling, data documents U.S. residents' general resistance to financial reparation payments to Black Americans as compensation for slavery in 2020, right? It says 63% of those polled oppose the idea of cash payment, with about 30% supporting them, right? So 60%, 63%, right, oppose. Say, listen, we should pay these people. They say don't cash payment. No. Don't give them any money. Check that out. But when we go back to this article right here, right? Child Survivor Fund makes first payment. How much money do they have in this fund? 190 million. 190 million. Right? And these people will get like about 2,500 a month. Check that out. But when we move on here, it's not the same thing for the Blacks. Okay? In 2020, 63% of those polled opposed the idea of cash payments, with about 30% supporting them. So only 30% said, okay, you should give money. And in 2021, 62% opposed, while 38% approving. So even at 2021, just what, 2 years ago, right? 62% oppose, while 38% approve. So we'll never get it because the majority rule. When you're doing a poll, they go by the majority. It's a vote. The report quoting survey says, let's get more. Resistance to financial payment is also shaped by gender. So then basically do it by gender. Check this out. Education and social classes identification. So this is how they actually do the poll. By gender, education, and social class identification. Specifically women, right? Persons with lower level of education and self-identified middle-class member were particularly opposed to this suggestive antidote. So the remedy, right, that is being put in place, right, to undo the hurt of slavery. So listen, we should give them reparation. But guess what happened? You have certain white persons, right, mainly female, persons of lower level of education and self-identified middle-class member were particularly opposed to this suggestive antidote. Them say this is not the method. This is not how you heal their wound. The report notes other polling data collected by Hunt and Reincelman shows that about 45% of those polled are opposed to the idea of apologizing to Black Americans. 45% say don't even apologize to these people. Right? While about 40% are in favor of apologizing. So every time something good supposed to come towards the children of the transatlantic slave trade, right, the vote goes against us. 45% say, listen, don't apologize. So the government said, we're not going to apologize. While 40% said, yeah, we should. While the awareness of modern racial inequality continues to grow, there are indications that the robust opposition remains. Check that out. Suggesting that a racial awakening may not substantially alter policy view, the reporters say. Check that out. They are saying, right, racial awakening may not substantially alter policy views, the report says. Watch this. Some of the most cited reasons for white Americans' opposition to repatriations include the hardship to determine. They are saying, listen, we cannot determine the economic value of slavery, impact, alongside the fact that no one directly involved in the practice is still living. We didn't do it, our forefathers do it. Right? The report contends a reason revolve around the denial of any ongoing legacy of slavery. We are not benefiting from slavery, is that what they're saying? Unrelated concerns about the unserving nature, right, of prospective recipient of repatriation. Who are we now going to pay? If we're going to pay it, who are we now going to give? That's what they're saying. Who should we give? Let's go here. Let me show you something. Who did you give here? Who do you give here? You give the survivor in the Holocaust. You give the survivor also here. Because what the Holocaust, what the article says right here, I'm going to show you something in the article, right? It says, the symbolic financial compensation for child survivors from this 190 million fund represents an acknowledgement of unique trauma and hardship endured by children during the Holocaust. Payments of $2,500 are being made to each 21,600 Holocaust survivor in 52 countries from the Children Survivor Fund following claims and conference. Negotiations with the German government, the claims and conference has been pressing for a number of years for recognition of the sufferings of Jewish children during the Holocaust, and will continue to press claims and pay additional survivor now that the process has begun, right? So what they are basically doing, they are giving survivor, right? Now it's what? 21,600, right? Survivor. Did you know, when I was reading this article, right, they are saying that they are now seeing even these people, kids, the trauma is there. So they are, give me a minute, Yawala, 1 minute, let me, give me a minute.
Let me say that what you really get from this, what are they really saying? And really and truly look at it, if they are to quantify you know, the effects of what happened to our forefathers, you know, in slavery, they literally have to give up everything they have, because the foundation of what America was built on was on the back of slaves. So they literally would give up their financial power in the earth. And this also goes into a curse that in verse 68 of Deuteronomy 28, you know, where no man shall redeem you or save you. So the Israelites will not be redeemed by Gentiles, the other nations. It will never happen. Because if they are to repay us, it means that, okay, there will be a shift in power. And that is what Christ is going to bring. Christ is going to bring that.
Because even when you look at it, they said that Child Survivor Fund makes first payments. These people have quote unquote Holocaust, what they contribute to the world. Meanwhile, in slavery for us, we contribute a lot to the world. So as you rightfully says, if we should quantify our payments, 190 million fund can't help it. 2,500 euros cannot help it. Because we
Right.
do more than that.
Right. So a lot of what they're actually saying, bro, it just don't make no sense. All right, let me okay, it says other reason revolve around the denial of any ongoing legacy of slavery and related concerns about the unserving nature of prospective recipient of reparation. Let's go. Read Deuteronomy 28, verse 20.
The Lord shall send upon thee cursings, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
Exactly. Now watch this, right? When we talk about cursing, vexation, and rebuke, right? Right here we have black people. We see two young men right here, pants down. One basically represents, I think, Crips, and one represents blood, pants down all the way to their buttocks, right? If we should, let me go right here. Let me try it this way. All right, so here we are. And I type in Jewish boy with pants down, right? We can't find anything. So this curse, right? We can't find anything. Everything is good. Everything is good where this is concerned. I put in Jewish boy with pants down and look at what come up. Judaism kids, Britannica kids, homework. Right? It's homework. That's what I put in. But if I, all right, let's put this in. I put in black boys with pants down. And look what came up. So some people might say, okay, you choose those photos. When I was actually composing the lesson, bro, these are the things that I'm putting in. I didn't choose these photo app.
Yeah, man, to show that there's no bias on your part.
Right. I'm not the one doing this, you know. Look at this. Take a look at this. Look at these pants. It's just crazy. I'm not the one doing this. Okay? Let's go back to the lesson. Okay? Cursing. Vexation. Look at dogs being set on our black brothers. Right? Look at dogs being set on our black brothers. Look at our people resort to violence because of what? Right? Black on black crime. All of this is because of vexation, you know. right? George Floyd. This is a rebuke upon George Floyd, you know. This is a form of rebuke. The Bible says cursing, vexation, and rebuke. This police kneeling on your neck is a result of breaking God's commandment, is a rebuke. Dogs upon you is a rebuke. Right? If I should do this, right? If I should go right here and do like this. Let's do this again. I should put in P-O-L-I-C-E. Police. And it's Jewish. Man, okay. What are we getting? Okay. Okay, here's the Jewish man. He's laughing. Right? He's laughing right here. Here's George Floyd situation. It's all good. Now watch look at this picture that I'm gonna put up on the screen. Here they are kneeling on someone's neck, right? The article states 4 officers were involved in the incident on 15th of August. It says that German police are investigating the video after 2 officers restrained the boy with one knee on his neck. This has nothing to do, I said, Jewish people. Right? So this has nothing. And this is nation, right? This is their own nation. According to the script, the other nation will come against you. So this is just white people and white people. This is not the other nation, right? Ill-treating you because you go away from your God. Okay? Let's go back here. Get Isaiah 51, 19 and 20.
These 2 things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation.
Exactly. When the dog was set on you, who was sorry for you? When you kneel on George Floyd's neck, who was sorry for you? Nobody. No one. Read.
Desolation and destruction and famine.
Desolation, destruction, and famine. Read.
And the sword, by whom shall I comfort thee? And the sword, by whom shall I comfort thee?
Exactly. Here is our brothers with the sword in their hand, the mother in their sword, the gun. Whom shall I comfort thee? By whom shall I comfort thee? Who's the most I'm going to use now? Right? No one will help. Read.
Verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net.
Right.
They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
Now look at these young men on the street with their pants down. They lie at the head of every street. Right? They lie at the head of the street. All right, let me try this. Let me put this in. Read that part. They lie at the head of the street.
They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
Okay, so I actually put in black boys at the head of every street. Now, look what we have right here.
I don't see it on the screen. Oh, come on.
So I put in black boy. It's there now? Okay.
Yeah.
So I put they lie at the head of every street, right? Let's look at this. Okay. Let's look at this. Isn't this how we look as a people hanging out on the corner?
Well, worse now. That look like
Exactly.
back in the day where it was
Right.
more, they were a bit more sensible. No.
So I guess they would look like this then.
Not even that. I don't think them wear them 3/4 and stuff.
Yeah, but guess what happened? The Bible said they are full of the fury of the Lord. Take a look at this.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. This is, they are full of the fury of the Lord. Some of the time we look at the fury as, it's only gangster. It's a form of rebuke. The fury, the anger that is coming from the Most High, you will be in a decrepit state. Look at this dude right here. Does this make sense? It just don't make no sense. Look at this. So even if we are dealing with fashion, take a look at this. Does this make sense? Someone is mocking us. And when we see this kind of picture, it was never a Jewish person. It's not the same thing. Something is wrong. Why can't we see a picture of, one of these Jewish dudes like this? Why can't we? Let's go. All right. Okay, look at these females now, right? Right here we have a picture of I don't know if you ever hear about Sexy Red. You hear about Sexy Red?
Yeah, man. She coming up in a lesson me preparing, man. She one of them.
and this is Sukiana.
Yeah.
Right? And we have Sukiana at the bottom right here. Now, this song right here, Sexy Red and Sukiana, the title of the song is called Hoodrat. Check this out.
Daughters of Zion, wake up.
All right, let me do this. Meaning of the PHRASE phrase. All right, let's try this. Okay, so we're looking at. Okay, let me get this. Let me get it right here. Definition, and it says Hoodrat, definition and usage examples. Put it on the screen. Are you seeing it, Ak?
Hold
on.
No, I'm seeing.
Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. It says right here. It says Hoodrat, promiscuous woman from an impoverished urban area. You hear that? It's a
That
US slang, derogatory, a young
Yeah, you hearing me? You just blank out. I wasn't hearing you. I'm breaking up.
Yeah, man, I'm hearing it.
I'm hearing it.
Okay. Right. Territory, a young British urban area. Let me see if I could get more. Let me try the Collins Dictionary. Okay, let me go to this right here. I want to get more on it. So, hood rat definition, right? It's a noun, slang, someone who has sex with everyone in the hood. Do you hear that, Ak?
Mm-hmm.
Our neighborhood. The term is the link to the culture of American ghettos and to hip hop culture. A hood rat is often poor woman who engages in sexual activity like a prostitute, but without charge and without being coerced. Someone have to
Mm-hmm.
come to and like, try to seduce her. She will just give it up. Thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
right? Check this out. Jeremiah 17, 1 to 4.
The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron.
Right.
And with the
So when you look at Sexy Red, you look at Sukiana, right? Their sin is written with a pen, right? Of iron. These kind of things can never be erased. That's what the Bible is saying. Though, as long as life progress, right? People remember Sukiana for this kind of work.
and let me say this, right? Many women don't understand this, that you see how the most I describe it here? You can write yourself out of ever being called a quote unquote virtuous woman. Not that a woman cannot repent and now do things that are virtuous, but trust me, there are certain criteria for a woman to be considered a virtuous woman to have lived in the earth. You must have a reputation that is not soiled. So, yes, you have women can repent and start to do what's right, but as the Bible said, it's written with a pen. Trust me. And what they are doing right here have led many young women astray.
Right.
How you come back from that? Or try to know make all those people influence thousands to know stop that behavior that you help to perpetuate.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that serious. But
And
some made go ahead.
and the next thing to if I may add, even if some of these women claim to say them repent, you always find that them return to what they were. And we see many females like this. So when the Bible says it written with a pen of iron, then we claim for change to the public, but do they really change? It even go as far as said with the point of a diamond. This cannot be erased. So them change to the public, but not in the size of the Most
Yeah,
High.
that's right.
Go on.
Verse 1. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of your altars. Verse 2. Whilst their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills, O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasure to the spoil, and
Right.
thy
So
high.
who you think? Who you think the most I give, right, or substance or treasure to? The other nation. Bear in mind, a part, right, of the curse is that you will become slaves to the other nation. They will take your stuff. They will take your goodly field. That's what Deuteronomy said. Right? Read.
And thy high places for sin
Uh-huh.
throughout all thy borders.
All thy borders. All your borders. Right? Read.
Verse 4, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage
Exactly.
that I gave thee.
Right. And when you look at these females, they are moving away from the culture. This thing that they are promoting in the earth, it's new. It's like it's sin on another level. It's up on another. It's not even funny the way how these females is operating, man. Trust me. You look at them and you're like, whoa. How comes you end up with a name Sexy Red? She have some song. It's crazy, bro.
I mean, as Bujo once said, in speaking of certain type of music that artists are making, he said that, listen, the remnants of what he's hearing is not even worthy to listen to. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, man.
It's not even funny.
She says that she's the raw. She claimed that she's a raw dog queen. I'm like, wow.
And she's right.
Wow. So she's sleeping around with men without protection.
Exactly.
That's what she said. Verse 4, it says, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not. For
Exactly.
ye have.
This is Sukiana, right? Sukiana album. Pretty and Ratchet. Now, why would you call yourself Pretty and Ratchet?
Beauty is vain.
Pretty and Ratchet. Check this out. Let's get that word Ratchet. Let's get that word Ratchet. Let me get that word Ratchet. I'm gonna show you something, right? These kind of word, right? Something is going on. Something is going on. They know what they are doing. These females know what they are doing. No excuse for them.
Not at all.
They know what they are doing. Okay? Check this out. I'm gonna show you something, right? Let me blow this up. It says ratchet.
Ratchet.
Okay, again.
Ratchet.
It says, so we have what? Like what? 4 definition here, but I'm gonna give you the proper one. It says a device consisting of a bar or wheel with a set of angered teeth in which a cog or tooth engages, allowing motion in one direction only. Now, when you come to number 2 definition, a situation or process that is perceived to be changing in a series of irreversible steps. This is the definition right here. This is the definition right here. A situation.
It is graven upon the table of their hearts.
100%, my brother.
And Ibar, if you could even get the slang definition to, because these are just the where would I call the proper definition for the word ratchet, which mostly
Right.
deal with mechanism and quote unquote the classier way. But if you
Exactly.
look for the slang definition, I think scroll down, you will see it says more
We're
definition.
gonna get it. Let me deal with this and then we jump to it.
All right,
Right?
cool.
A situation or process that is perceived to be changing in a series of irreversible steps. The key word is irreversible. So when we go into the Bible and we say it's written with a diamond, it's written with an iron pen, it can't rub out. It can't rub out. Check this out.
Irreversible.
Not able to be undone or altered, beyond repair, unrepairable, irreparable. Let's go. Let me get this. Ratchet slang definition. It says right here, ratchet slang. Ratchet is a slang term in American hip hop culture that in its original sense was a derogatory term used to refer to an uncut woman. You hear that? Did you hear that?
Let's look up the word unquote.
Okay. Let's go. Micah, stop. Let's get it.
Unquote.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
It says lacking
good manners, refinement, or grace. Uncivilized, uncultured, uncultivated, unrefined, unpolished, unsophisticated, right? Low. Check that out. That's not even funny. And this is the name that they want to use. It's not even funny. Let's go. Deuteronomy 28, verse 21.
The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he had consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
Exactly. So check this out. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, right? What by definition, Michael, go to the room.
Change
by
the screen.
Definition. Okay. Hold on, give me a minute, y'all. Let me deal with them kids.
Yeah.
Marvy. Take over. Narrate this to me.
Cool. Go ahead,
So Deuteronomy 28 and verse 21, the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
Exactly. So as we recently came out, I would perceive of a quote-unquote pandemic, we would have heard over and over who this quote-unquote pestilence affect the most. All the time we hear it disproportionately affect the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, the natives. Why they constantly mentioning these quote-unquote nation of people that these diseases just always seem to affect the most, whether it be SARS, whatever it may be. These disease and pestilence always affect disproportionately, as they would put it, meaning predominantly it's us it affect. It's us it cleave to. On a common level, all the quote-unquote diseases and sickness you heard of growing up, whether it be arthritis, whether it be where would I say back pain, headache, whatever it may be, it's us it affect. Why is that so? Something must divinely happen, or what we're doing to cause these things to be cleaving unto us. What we're doing is like we're stubborn. We're not getting the message that God is sending. So this is why when 21 says pestilence cleave unto thee, when something cleave unto thee, it's not leaving. Why? Because we're constantly doing the same thing. So because we're doing the same thing, the consequences of our action, the other nations gonna have their way. They are well secured.
Exactly. Mhm. You said
Go ahead,
something up. You said something, right? I want you to finish your thought, but let me add something to what you said right here. Let me put this on the screen, right? It says right here, while genetics may play a role in certain instances, socioeconomic factors have a significant impact on how African Americans are able to prevent and treat certain conditions. Heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, strokes, or peripheral arthritis disease, peripheral arthritis disease, sickle cell disease, preventing disease to close the gap. These are diseases that they said, right? Mainly, disproportionately affect Black people. Go ahead.
So when the Bible is saying these things, and people taking the Bible light, as many people might say, oh, the Old Testament is fairy tale, this never happened, this never happened, and want to basically dilute what the Bible actually saying, then you have to ask yourself, what is really going on now? Why constantly all these pestilence that came up is us? With that I yield.
All right. So when we talk about pestilence, it says a fatal epidemic disease, especially bubonic plague, right? Similar plague, the Black Death. Now, why would you call it the Black Death? The Black Death. Why is it called Black Death? Right? When you look at this Black Death, I'm going to show you something, right? The Black Death. Some would say Black Plague. So we're going to look at the Black Plague, okay? Let me go right here. Says Black Plague or Black Death, right? It says Black Death, pandemic from 1351. proportionately greater toll of life than any other known epidemic or war upon that time. The Black Death is widely believed to have been the result of plague caused by infection with the bacterium Yersinia pestis. Modern genetic analysis indicate that the strain of Y pestis introduced during the Black Death is ancestral to all extant. Now, if that's the case, why do you call it Black Death? Huh? Why would you call it Black Death? Why would you call it Black Death?
Not adding up.
Exactly. The definition is just not adding up. Right? And it says it sweep across Europe. If you said it sweep across Africa, then we can say the Black Death.
Yeah.
Contagious disease. Right? This is from a secular point of view. I'm giving you this is the Oxford language. Okay, so we're gonna go to the Bible term now and see if it is different. Strong's definition, right? The burr from H1696 in the sense of destroying a pestilence, murrain, pestilence, plague is the same thing. Right? Read verse 22 up.
The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
Until thou what?
Until thou perish.
Until thou perish. Right? Until thou perish. Okay, let's go. All right. Disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on the BAME community in UK, right? So let's speak about the BAME community. The word BAME, or the acronym BAME, that stands for Black, Asian, and Minority Ethnic. Okay? It says COVID-19 is disproportionately affecting people from ethnic minorities in the UK and the other high-income countries, UK and other high-income countries, exposing long-standing inequalities for minority and marginalized communities, right? It says right here, this is the word, exposing long-standing. So this has been going on for decades and decades. Inequalities for a minority. So there's no equality for a minority, right? And marginalized communities, right? It says these disparities have been particularly evident in the UK. They're saying it's very clear in the UK, where Blacks, Asian, and minority ethnic, which is what they call the BAME, communities are bearing the brunt of the pandemic. An official inquiry commissioned by the UK government. So this is not done by no regular people, right? This is done by the UK government. This is not our opinion, right? It says, identify that the risk of dying from COVID-19 is substantially higher in people from BAME, Black, Asian, and minority ethnic. Okay? Right? It says substantially higher in people from BAME group than those from white ethnic groups, with the highest mortality rates seen among people from Black and Asian backgrounds. Black men and women in UK are around 2 are around 2 to 3 times as likely to die from COVID-19 than their white counterparts. Check that out. Figure 1, right? We'll show you what is figure 1. It reads, racism and discrimination suffered by BAME communities has been noted as a key factor behind the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 in the UK. Although this has been downplayed, right? They said they downplayed, right? Figure 1 rate, right? Figure 1 rate of COVID-19 death by ethnic group and sex relative to the white population. England and Wales, 2nd of March to the 15th of May 2020. Source, Office of Nation Statistics, right? So this is done by the Office of National Statistics. Contains public sector information licensed under the Open Government License V3.0. Around 14% of the UK belonging to the Black, Asian, mixed or other ethnic group. A figure that rises to 40% in London. Figure 2 shows the breakdown of ethnic group. Let me see. Figure 1. Figure 2 shows the breakdown of ethnic groups in England and Wales. People from the BAME groups also make up a much higher proportion of key workers than the general population in the UK, putting them at the forefront of public health crises like COVID-19. Intersecting factors such as socioeconomic deprivation, access to health service, and racism and discrimination have all been identified as contributing to the health inequalities faced by ethnic minorities in the UK. COVID-19 is exacerbating these existing inequalities, and unsurprisingly, similar factors are noted as contributing to the disproportionate effect of COVID-19 among ethnic minorities in the US. Right? Let's look at the figures. Here we are, figure 1. When they actually do the poll, right? It says age adjusted, fully adjusted. So they're dealing with male. Male comparison group. White. At the top, in the blue right here, we have the blacks. And the diagram right here, this is the blacks right here. When you come down the bottom right here, you have the Bangladesh or the Pakistani. They are here right here. Others, right? You have the Indians. You have the mix. Look where the mix are right here. I'm putting the cursor. Right? You have the Chinese. Now, COVID-19 started in China. Why is the Chinese at the bottom? Take a look at that, Yawa Allah.
A country with over 1 billion people, eh?
The Chinese is at the bottom. Now, who is not there? Who's not there? Who's not there up?
What the one place it should be at the bottom, I think. There.
There's no whites on it. They basically lump the whites up with some other people. Just say others. 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 Man, this is funny. right? When you come over to the female now, right? Comparison group, white, because they're comparing them with whites, right? What we look at right here is the male, so we come to the female. When it comes to female, blacks still affected more. Bangladesh and Pakistan, they got to put them together just for them to actually get, a good amount. Others, Indians, mix. Look where the mix. I want to know who's the mix. When I say mix,
I don't know.
Exactly, because you have father and you have mate. Not getting
exactly. I just don't get it.
Could be some Israelites in there in the mix.
Exactly.
Chinese, there's none. They're basically saying this, bro. Chinese women, right? Because you're getting it from a female perspective over here, right? When they do the poll, this is the male over here. What happened to the men? You see how many men die from the black community? And you see how many black women die right here? So both male and female, we are leading it when it comes to death. The Chinese women, they basically is just a few. Man, this is crazy. Let's go. Figure 2, right? You have, when you look at the Indians here, right? Percentage of overall population. You have Indians, Pakistani, Asian others, Bangladesh, Chinese, and them show you black Africans, black Caribbeans, black others. I don't know who's the black others. Although we have a lot of, when you look on mix, right? White Asian, you have mixed white, black Caribbeans, mixed white, black African, mixed others, right? We are still leading it. Deuteronomy 28 verses 23 to 27. Narrate this act, Mavi.
And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron.
Exactly. Meaning, one, your rain naga come as it used to. Your hurt naga heal as much as we would have already mentioned about the field. So it's gonna be a tough road to travel. Because back then, our main source of wealth and supply is agriculture. That even not just even say for us, but for the world really. Yeah, agriculture is the main source of wealth. Everything that have to do with wealth, it's agriculture. Whether it be a rearing animals, whether it be a farming. So when it says the earth that is under thee shall be iron, mean nothing cannot grow. Nothing cannot grow in iron. The earth shall be the heavens over thy head shall be brass. It's talking about rain. So remember one time, even here in Jamaica, it took a while for rain to fall. We almost got a year without rain. And people was wondering what's going on. That's what it's talking about. The heavens was brass. Read up.
Verse 24. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust.
Exactly. Read.
From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Go ahead.
Verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies.
Exactly. We see this quite often. How much time we're gonna see this, especially in the US? How much time? How much time we're gonna see where we get smitten in front thy enemies, before thine enemies? How much time? We mentioned George Floyd. So many of us blacks have been discharged in front and by our enemies. These are curses. Notice the difference when it comes to other nations, whether it be white, the Europeans, whatever title or name they want to give themselves. How does it dealt with? Notice the difference? No matter how drastic the crime be, it's dealt with on a, where would I say, a high standard. But for us, no, we are dogs. But them say we are 3/5 of a man. That's how it works. These are curses. Read that.
Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them.
Exactly.
And,
Go ahead, Ak.
and shall be removed into all kingdoms of the earth.
Exactly. We see what the will claim to say we are trying to protest. Mean the protest not even serve a purpose. Not even serve a purpose because they know we are suffering the consequences of our actions. You think if we were living according to how God set us, these people could come against us? No. They would have to think twice. That's why it says we shall flee. We are going to go against them because we think we are in good standing with God. And we have to flee 7 ways. We are run up and down like a headless chicken. Because why? At them time they will see that the battle has been lost. Because we are suffering the consequences of our action. That is what's going on. It's not like back in the days when we have man like Joshua, Moses, and even then, speaking of Joshua, notice what happened when Achan took the spoils that he shouldn't hide it. What happened? It caused the whole army to suffer, the whole nation to suffer great losses because of disobedience. It caused us the loss. But when we were in unity with the Most High, we walk around the wall of Jericho and that of a fall. That is how it works. Read that.
And another key point in this verse here, it says, you shall be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. We went over a series of the 4 beasts, right?
Brilliant.
So Israel will serve all 4 kingdoms. Now, I want somebody to tell me what set of people you see as servants in this kingdom, the Roman Empire. Who is it?
Exactly. We always been serving. Is Israel a homeborn slave? Think Jeremiah asked that for no reason? Is it we just born for be slave? Females like to size up and says, oh, is it that we just born to be a helpmate? But do we just born to be a slave? Why is it that every time I look at black man, we fight so hard? And when a black man rise, it's like him have to do some of the most distasteful and degrading things for us. No matter how talented, intelligent he is.
Right. Can use Sukiana, we can use Sexy Red.
Exactly. Same thing for the females. It's crazy. Read up.
Verse 26. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air, and unto the beast of the earth, and no man shall free them away.
Exactly. We see this happen mainly on the plantation, where your body will just left hanging. You know, there is a famous brand called Timberland. When you look on the symbol, it's a depiction of a tree. You know what is that tree? It's the tree, the willow tree that they hang us on. So to show you that these people constantly mocking us throughout, they put the willow tree on the timberland because they would hang us and leave us right there. And fowls eat us like food, like how you normally see how certain fruits, whether it be mango, apple, get eaten out by birds and bats. That's what usually happen to us.
Right.
It's crazy. It's only us these things happen to. Only us. And if we drop on the ground, other beasts come into it. If the string happen to say pop or burst. So
Most
you
time
tell
it's
me.
most time it's our body that actually break.
Exactly. Exactly. So you tell me, which other nation this happened to?
Right.
Read out.
Verse 27. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emeralds, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not heal, not be healed.
Exactly. Exactly. So similar plagues that the Most High would have put upon Egypt, Him give us a taste of it to show how serious He is. And most of these batch of Egypt and these emeralds and these scab, these diseases that we're getting, it cannot be healed. That's why we live with it until we're dead. Many of us live on medication until we're dead. Why you think that is? It cannot be healed. Not only that, your pharmacy and or your pharmaceutical products ensuring that it's not be healed. The hospital system, the medical system, I ensure say it not healed too, because they want to make money off of you until you're dead. That's how it works. So we have to get ourselves in line and know that we're going against God, and our conditions are our consequences of our disobedience. With that, I yield.
Can. And when you look at let me put this on the screen right here. It says emerald is an archaic, which means old-fashioned term for hemorrhoid. Okay, so what we call hemorrhoid today is the same thing. Okay. Let me see again. All right. Let's go back here. Deuteronomy 28, verses 28 up and 29.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
With what?
With madness.
Here we have a picture right here. A letter who's the verb, right? Isn't this madness?
What is it?
Isn't this madness? I don't know what that is, but take a look at the brother. Does this brother look like he's saying, this brother don't look like a sane person? But yet he's an artist out there today, right, who's influencing our people, young black girls and young black boys. Okay? Look at this picture at the top. This is at the BET Award. This is Lil Nas X. What the heck is this dude wearing? What is he wearing? Yawa Allah, you know what? You know what he's wearing? Can you tell me what he's wearing?
Looks like a dress. Easy,
Lord
easy. We're
have
showing more.
mercy.
Easy, we're showing more cleavage than the woman would.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Very
Crazy.
distasteful.
And take a look at Little Nas X. What the heck is this? What is this? Read on.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness.
Now we have a leader at the bottom here, Mr. Wholeness. I think he's been smitten with blindness. This man have no sight, no vision whatsoever.
Yes,
He's
he's
been
become
affected.
reprobate.
Oh God. This man is being smitten with this curse, blindness. With all your education, no vision. You know why? Because you move away from God's commandment. Read on.
And astonishment of heart.
And what?
And astonishment of heart.
When we talk about astonishment, take a look at Mr. Holland's face. Astonishment. Blind astonishment. Read.
Verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
Exactly.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
Exactly, because when you take a look at Little Nas X, Little Uzi Vert, Mr. Wholeness, right? No man is saving them. Only oppressed. I'm sure Little Uzi Vert didn't choose to be like this. Some Jewish dude told him, the producer, right? This is how you have to act. Right? Folly sells. Lil Nas X, this is how you must just go to the BT Award, right? Just to gain attention. Only oppress. That's how it works. Someone is directing these dudes' attitude, their action.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants this for themselves. Check this out. Take a look right here, right? Take a look at Lil Nas X, right? He has 2 Grammy right here. How did Lil Nas X get a Grammy?
Not seeing the screen now.
Seen it now?
Can't.
How did Lil Nas X get a Grammy? I thought Grammy was the highest achievement in the the music industry, right? How did he get it?
That represents what talent does this man have to get 2 Grammys?
Check this out. Lord have mercy. What is going on here?
Abominations.
What the heck is going on here? Right? What is going on here? Take a look at this now. Lil Uzi Vert. Look at his hairstyle. It's crazy. It's a joke. Right? Only oppress forevermore. Only oppress forevermore. And all right, look at this. Right? And here he is with a female, right? This female will waste no time getting with him because of money. Only oppress forevermore. Right? Don't think that these celebrities and these artists just go out there, you know, and just act, right, of their own initiative. I just happen by random chance. The producer, their manager, is telling them, is getting up in their ear saying, okay, this is what we want, right? This is what gains attention. This is how you get the Grammy. So they're being oppressed. If they say no, they lose contracts. You lose the album deal, all of that. So don't think it's just like that. So we come to the conclusion, right? We come to the conclusion. We come to the conclusion that, let's go back here. The curse of Deuteronomy 28, right? The curse of Deuteronomy 28. Who does it fit today? The people in Israel, the so-called Jewish people, are the people of the transatlantic slave trade, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, right? Who march on a daily basis, no justice, no peace, right? Who's saying, don't take our land, equality and justice for black farmer, right? We conclude that they are the biblical Israelite. Okay? That's the conclusion that we actually come to. Let me put this out there. Let me put this out there. Okay, let me put this out there. Let me put this out there. Let me get a good picture. Let me put this out there. I'm gonna have to put this out there. Computer is moving so slow. Let me put this out there. See my screen, right?
Gone.
So we see Judah, African Americans, Benjamin, Commonwealth and Dutch Caribbean, Levi, Haitian, Simeon, Dominicans, Zebulon, Central America, Ephraim, Puerto Rico, Manasseh, Cubans, Gad, Native Americans, Reuben, Seminolean Indians, Naphtali, Native Argentinian and Chileans, Asher, Native Colombians, the Uruguayans, Issachar, Mexicans. Okay? Here they are, the children of Israel. Here they are.
Yeah, and just add the Naphtali also need to add the South Pacific region as well.
Right. So that's the lesson right there, family. I hope this lesson was edifying. I think we want to do a part 2 of this lesson because we just cover like a few verses. So hopefully in the future we can come again and drop more drill like this. Okay? Go out like this.
Yeah, in times. At the end of the day, for real, if you a man of the Most High specifically, guard your light, guard your family, protect your peace. I feel like it's that season, yeah. Till your ground and put your seeds in. They say rock, what's the word? I told them repent. Gotta walk in them shoes you put your feet in. The bed that you make, you gotta sleep in. Sowing and reaping, judgment, it's that season. I don't get mad and I don't get even. Abba got 'em, say shalom when you see me. I'm protecting my peace. It ain't my business what they said about me. They forgot to mention the part when I fell to my knees. Please, Abba, keep your angels wherever I be. Pray you keep a couple of them by the bed when I sleep. Bonded, casting out every devil I see. Last days, I ain't playing no kind of games. I got children. Look, no matter what they say, we gon' still win. Let them gossip, we gon' still win. Turn everybody against us, we gon' still win. Keep building like real men. Imagine all the souls we gon' reel in. And we put scriptures over feelings. Yeah. Had to do a pause for that. I feel like it's that season. Yeah. Till your ground and put your seeds in. If we can't correct each other, we can't be friends. I can't sit back and watch you go off the deep end. Sky is the limit, you got no ceiling. We gon' take it through the firmament. You got baptized, them demons was on your head when they got word of it. When you get wings, it's gonna be turbulence. Temptation intensified, it's expected. We at the end of time, they don't wanna see you score. They want you penalized, want you out the game, see you ride the bench. When it's crunch time, it ain't hard to see who the father with. This season, we not man pleasing. Practice what you preaching, don't pretend. For real, we gotta give them the facts. Look, that sound good, but what scripture was that? Paganism in our worship, hidden in the details. Saturnalia, Abba gave me eyes I can see well. We stiff neck, we don't want correction, we shun correction. On the narrow path is only one direction. Yeah, we stiff neck, we don't want correction, we shun correction. Yeah, it's only one direction.